I've been all in on Apple HomeKit for a few years now. I have smart lights, a smart thermostat, a garage door opener, sprinkler, and whatever else that I'm forgetting. I also consider myself to be a casual weather nerd. I like looking at forecasts and radar and checking maps after a storm. So when I got a hold of the $80 Eve Weather, an outdoor temperature, humidity, and barometric pressure sensor, I was extremely excited. I've now been using it in my HomeKit home for a number of weeks, so I want to let you know what I think. It's excellent, but at the same time, disappointing. Let's start with the hardware. The Eve Weather looks and feels really nice. Its aluminum case gives it a nice premium look to go along with its black and white screen. The point of that screen is so you can glance at it and check the temperature. Depending on where you put it, you may need to hang the Eve Weather. So it has a mounting hole on the back just above the battery compartment, which houses a CR2450 replaceable battery. Speaking of mounting, it's really important to place the sensor in a spot that won't get any sunlight. Easier said than done for me. I wanted to be able to look out the window and see the temperature on the screen, but the only spot that I really have for this gets sunshine for a couple hours a day, which means that my readings are off at that time of day. Eve rates the weather down to only 0 degrees Fahrenheit also, which may not be enough for many people. I noticed that I have a number of days of data missing when it got pretty cold where I live, which means you may not be able to rely on this thing in super cold conditions. The Eve Weather connects to your HomeKit smart home using Bluetooth or Thread. And really, if it comes down to using either of those, you're gonna wanna use Thread because it's much faster. In order to do that, you'll need a HomePod Mini or the latest Apple TV 4K. This basically acts as the Thread hub in your HomeKit setup. After the Eve Weather is connected to your home, it'll start collecting data. As I mentioned, the Eve Weather takes current temperature, humidity, and barometric pressure readings. These readings are all recorded in the Eve app, which gives you a nice looking history. You may have also noticed an icon showing a weather condition. This is just a prediction for the next 12 hours based on the pressure data. You can view the data history by hour, day, week, or month. So at this point, I think things can go one of two ways. You either like what you've heard so far and you're thinking of all the different ways that you can use an Eve Weather, or you're kind of wondering what you'd do with one of these. And I kind of wound up at the latter. But let's come back to that because there are a number of reasons why you would be excited about one of these. All of this collected data is there for you to do anything with. This is where automations come into play. You could set up an automation to tell you to cover your patio furniture if the pressure is trending down. You could have the lights in your bedroom turn a certain color in the morning depending on the temperature outside to help you know what it's like out. And it doesn't have to be placed outside. You could have an automation turn a heater on based on the temperature in a room. I can see this being really nice actually in a baby's room. Maybe not for a heater, but at least to monitor the temperature and even the humidity. These are all valid uses and there are definitely more, but they just aren't valid for me, which is kind of why I'm wondering, how can I use this? I really like knowing the temperature of the air outside my house. The forecast isn't always accurate, so this can give me a more accurate temperature, but it's just too inconvenient to find that temperature. I can walk around my house and my Ecobee thermostat has the temperature, my Nest Hub has the temperature, my Apple Watch has the temperature, and my iPhone has the temperature. But I can't easily put the temperature from the Eve Weather on any of these screens. That's really all I want. This seems like a perfect opportunity for a widget from Eve, but there isn't one. And I can't place a Home app widget either. I'm hopeful this will change, especially if Apple releases a HomePod with a screen. I imagine there being some sort of widget for a home status. But for now, the Eve Weather just sort of disappears in my setup. Don't get me wrong, I haven't had any issues with the Eve Weather. The quality seems great, support from the company seems great, they're continuously investing in HomeKit. I mean, the product does exactly what it says and it does it really well. It's just not all that useful for me because the main reason I want to use it is for getting the temperature, and it's just not easily accessible. This may not be the case for you, and if not, I can definitely recommend the Eve Weather. I just want to take a minute to mention Eve sent me the Eve Weather free of charge to test. There were no strings attached, no agreements about what to say, and no approval for any content. If you have any questions about the Eve Weather, please let me know, and thanks for watching.